Oh yeah, feels good to be back, man. For some reason, I knew it was gonna happen. My reception on my Wi-Fi isn't cutting up. It's cutting out in here. So SoftBank, I love you. Thanks for showing some love to the Positive Vibes Radio Show. Everybody, Saturday afternoon. It's about evening, 1700. Positive Vibes, 78.6 FM Radio, Yomaton. It's so great to be back. I don't know if you guys knew, but I took last Saturday off. We had a lot going on with the other job, right? So one good thing about it is I survived. Last week was a very long week. Week before that was very long as well. And we're back, man. It feels really good to be back on the radio, man. It kind of felt like we were just starting to hit our stride with the topics, information, and everything that was going on around Yomaton in the United States. We were talking about Doctor Who on the last segment. It was a really good time. I was just getting into it, starting to interview friends, and then life gets in the way, right? It's the reality of it. You can't control what's not in your control. And that's one of those things that, after all my years of existence, I've started to realize and settle with. It's I can only control what's within my control. Today is a very special segment for me, man. A few weeks back when I was still trying to get the rhythm going, right? I kind of covered self-care. And the New York Times did a spread, which I thought was awesome. It was actually titled Self-Care. So if you guys get a chance, pick it up. It's on the columns right now, Self-Care from the New York Times. It is an amazing article. After the break, I'll give you guys some more details. But that's exactly what I want to talk about today, man. I want to spend some real time. And in case you guys seeing right there, you're probably wondering, what's the shirt I got on? It says Pug Life. Let me get over here. Pug Life, right? Because I love dogs. And this little dog, I also love Tupac. So this little dog with the Tupac bandana on, and it says Pug Life. So if you can't see it, or if you guys are not watching from YouTube, got a little different style going on today for the show, right? So it's pretty cool, man. A little something different. So let me talk to you, Yomatan. Let me talk to you, Okinawa. Let me talk to you, friends and family that are listening from back home. My question to you is, what is self-care, man? What is it to you? If somebody says, hey, man, are you practicing self-care? Are you taking care of yourself? What does that mean to you? So I want to cover a couple of things today. I just want to have a conversation about the importance of self-care, different ways to truly take care of yourself, right? Not just your body. Everybody always, when you think self-care, people automatically jump to diet and fitness. We're not talking about that, man. We're talking about the reality behind the fact that you only live once. You got one life. Nobody knows when that clock's going to be over, right? When that time is up. All we know is that we got one life, and we got to give everything we can every day to make ourselves the best version of ourselves, right? So to talk about that, understanding who you are is the very first step. Know who you are. Realistically speaking, a lot of people, and I talk to people every single day, a lot of people have no idea who they are. Truly, they're still figuring it out. That's it. Who are you? And I love asking that question to a close friend or someone who comes to my office and just to chat, right? So that's cool, man. But who are you? Now, if you had to describe you to someone, who would you say you are? And some of the things you hear are very surface, right? You can tell nobody's really did a deep dive into who they are. Nobody's really taken that time to really figure themselves out. They've just been rolling with the motion, just been moving with the current. So when I ask the question, and I literally do, I say, hey, man, so that's cool. Who are you? You tell me what you like to do. You tell me where you like to go, but who are you as a person? Another question I have for you, do you love yourself? People, wait, what do you mean by that, man? What's that word mean? What do you mean, do I love myself? Do you love you? Not just the person you are and the life that you have, but the skin that you're in. The blemishes, the blessings, the gifts, the failures, the struggle, the story. Do you love everything about what you are, what your life has been? Every chapter, every page, everything about you. If you haven't been able to do that, man, if you haven't been able to live that and understand that, then you're not there yet. People like to think that they know themselves, they're self-actualized. But if you haven't truly figured out how to love yourself first, right? Had somebody come to my office the other day and tell me, realistically, they said, hey, sir, I don't know. I'm just alone. I feel lonely. I said, really? Okay, so tell me what lonely means to you. Well, I don't have a lot of friends here. I don't have a big circle. I'm very private. Okay, so you just said two opposing things. You don't have a lot of friends, but you're very private, right? So let's try to meet yourself in the middle right there. So is it that you're private so you don't want a lot of friends, or is it that you just don't have a lot of friends because you're not able to fit in? Are you trying to seek friendship? What are you trying to do? These are the questions, like these little things that people don't ask themselves. And I say ask, but I mean ask themselves, right? Ask the question. Learn to be alone. Wayne Dyer said, and I'm not going to say verbatim, but he said along the lines of, be in love with the person that you're alone with, and you won't be alone, right? You have to love yourself. Love the person you're alone with. Find some time for you. Learn to be happy with you. If you learn to be happy with yourself and who you are and everything about yourself, then you can start exploring and getting beyond that. But it starts right there. Self-care. So we talk about love. Do you love yourself? Are you in love with everything about you? Are you living a truly authentic life? Man, I'm going to grab my water, but let me ask you that. Are you living a truly authentic life? Your life. The life that you want for you. Not the life that your friends want or that your parents said would be great for you to have. But are you doing the things in your life that you want to do? Right? That's the question. Have you really took a snapshot and looked at everything that's in front of you, right? And said, hey, man, I don't know if I really wanted to ever major in that. I don't know if I ever really truly wanted to take up that hobby. I don't know if that was something my heart wanted. I know you guys, some of you know my story. I was in a relationship for a very long time, and we had opposing futures, right? I wanted to explore, and she wanted to be in the U.S., stay steady, stagnant. I was like a caged bird, man. I need to get out of here. Have y'all seen the other guys? I'm a peacock. I need to fly. Hey, I was literally in one of those situations where I knew I was unhappy and I just was miserable. I was depressed. I was stuck, but I didn't know what I needed to do next. And there was a lot of times where I was questioning myself. So is this how things are supposed to be? Think about that. You're living a life you're not happy with, so you start questioning the life as if, should I just settle? Should I just roll with the punches? Right? Who does that? So I had some very cool things I was doing at the time, coaching. I was going to the gym every day. And then kind of the sadness of not being fulfilled, I started dwindling away from the things that I love to do. I started wrapping my life around things that were going on around me versus what direction I wanted to go. So I started to settle. And I started just to accept what was being dealt to me. I started taking whatever cards were being thrown my way. So when you think about the decisions that you make based on circumstances or what's in front of you, you forget sometimes that you still and always do have options. You are not locked into today who you have to be. You can be whoever you want to be tomorrow. When you wake up, you can truly, I heard somebody say this quote and I loved it because you use it for other reasons. But when you wake up in the morning, you can truly change your identity every day. You can be somebody completely different. And when you have that mental freedom, when you release yourself from feeling like you're stuck with who you are right now, when you release it and you let it go, you have so much potential just waiting for you because you're not locking yourself into anything. You realize that your life is unfulfilled and that there's so many chapters you can still write. You're not stuck in the book that you wrote before. It's a new story just waiting for you. And there's one time I remember specifically the first place and the one place I always wanted to go. I saw this commercial. I never even really studied it, researched it before this, but it was to Atlantis in Dubai. Promise you guys, I saw the videos or the commercial and I was so excited that I want to go there, right? That was the first time I actually had any real true place on my bucket list. I want to go there one day. And if you don't have a partner that feels the same thing you do about traveling, then you're kind of the only guy really saying that. And you mention it to people around you, but nobody shares that vision with you. So you're the only person saying, I want to go to Dubai. And you don't have any kind of support or action plan. So you kind of just flow with it. Do you hear where I'm going? I wanted to do something, and I had nobody backing me. I had no movement because I was settling for where I was. It sounded good. I'm going to say that again. It sounded good. And so it took me breaking away from the life I had, breaking true separation from the life I had to start a new life. And I'll tell you, the first place I went, the first bucket list location I hit when I changed my identity was Dubai and Atlantis. First bucket list location, I promised myself. And I'm going to tell you a funny story. There's a place there in Dubai, right? Or should I say on Atlantis, there's a slide in Atlantis. There's a water park also inside of this. If you guys haven't Googled it already by now, I was talking. But in Atlantis is a beautiful resort. It's like something out of a dream, right? And then the water park is attached to this resort. And there's so many things I can talk about this all day, but I'll get to the story where it comes to taking a leap of faith. My entire journey, so starting at the point where I was like, I want different. I need to change my identity. Who I've been is not who I want to be. So I get to Atlantis, my first bucket list location, and I get to the water park. Everything seems so surreal. Like I'm not really, it's like my body was there, but my mind was like still catching up. Like this is really happening. It's so freeing to live your dream. So I get there and there's a slide. It's called the Leap of Faith. I can't make this up. The slide is called the Leap of Faith. And you're talking to a guy who A, is scared of heights and B, can't swim. Okay? A, scared of heights, and B, can't swim. And the slide is called the Leap of Faith. And so there's stairs that go all the way up to the top of this point. And I think I've told this story in a way, but I never kind of did the history of this and talking about reclaiming my life with self-care, self-love. I love myself enough to make that first step. I love myself enough to keep pushing and get to where I wanted to go. And that was just one location. I get to the top of this slide or the top of the stairs, and I see the line. There's kids going down this slide. There's old people going down this slide. And I'm just fearful for my life because this slide, I can't swim, and I'm scared of heights. And I know I just walked about 10 flights, at least. So I look over, and I see people going. A guy's getting ready to get 3 people in front of me, and it hits me. Bro, this slide is called a leap or the leap of faith. Everything you have done up until this point has been because you took a huge leap of faith. You believed in yourself. You trusted in your vision. You reset everything to start your life over and be happy. Take this jump, man. Take this leap. And let me tell you, when I walked up to the edge, he didn't even have to give me the warning. I don't think I heard anything the man said. I just went for it. And I would tell you as you fall, because your body doesn't connect to the slide until halfway down, right? And then you kind of start sliding back onto the water. It's the most freeing thing in the world. But when I got to the bottom and I got up and I stood up, I promise you, I just felt brand new. It all clicked. Everything made sense. I stood up and I said, it's time. Whatever I do from this point on, I need to be happy. Whatever I do from this point on, I need to protect my peace. Whatever I do from this point on has to be because it's what I want to do, not because I'm allowing the cards that are dealt to me to force me to settle ever again. I will never settle ever again because that is compromising my happiness. Self-care, self-love, never compromise your happiness for anything. Live an authentic life. Be unapologetically you. And when we come back from the break, I'm going to talk to you more. So coming back, right? So we're hearing all of these things about being alone, right? So if you didn't hear what I was telling you the first round, or if for whatever reason it didn't come through and I'm just sitting here on the radio silently, I was telling you about the story of taking a leap of faith. Huge leap of faith, man. Everything I did in the beginning of this journey, even leading me here to 78.6 FM Yomitan, everything that led to this journey was a story of taking chances, taking leaps of faith, believing in myself, not doubting myself, learning to be happy with who I am, learning to be, it's okay to be alone, not to confuse being alone with loneliness. That's the one thing you got to get out of your head. Don't confuse being alone with loneliness. You see, sometimes we have to take the perspective back. We got to take our mindset back on the situation. I want to be alone because I need to know who I am as a person. I need to know what I like, what I don't like, what my goals are, what my visions, what I want to feel like. I need to know what my love languages are so I can share that with someone. I need to know who I am when it comes to travel so I know what kind of travel buddy I want to have, if I ever have one. Or maybe I just want to travel alone, or I like doing these things just for me. I need to know what I like to come home to, what I like to feel like when I get home. See, all of these things, you jump into relationships, you jump into situations, and you don't know who you are. So how in the world can you expect someone to make you happy and you don't even know who you are? You see, that's the first piece of the puzzle. Is so many people all over the world are running away from the realities of life, but never have the reality of themselves. Right? Think about that. You're running from everything and everyone else. There's people who have anxiety problems. There's people who have all kinds of situations going on because they never had an opportunity or never taken the time to really peel back their own onion first before jumping out there and dealing with the world. So being lonely hurts, right? Being lonely and being by yourself is painful. Nobody likes to be alone. And like I said a little bit ago, what Dr. Wayne Dyer was saying was, you're not lonely if you like the person you're alone with. And the way I twisted it a little bit was, if you learn to be alone and you're in love with the person that you're alone with, then it's not loneliness. It's just being alone. Self-care, self-love, love yourself. Be grateful for what you do have. So many people, they have all kind of stuff, but they're so focused on what they don't have. If you change the perspective, you change your mindset, you appreciate what you have. Hey, man, this is great. I may realize that I don't have $1 million, but guess what? I got a job. I got people that support me. I have friends that are good to me. I have a circle that I trust. Come on, your list is going to keep going because these are things that you have. Another thing is to create healthy habits, routines. People don't have those nowadays. So you got people just aimlessly just jumping into the day. I mention this all the time. But what happens when you grab your day? You grab hold of your days from start to finish, Monday through Sunday. You know what you want and you go get it. You want a healthy lifestyle. You want to be around longer. If it's not just for you, it's for your kids. You fighting for something. You going to the gym, you eating right. I learned something about myself recently. I used to like to come home, jump on the internet, talk to friends on the phone. That used to be my thing, right? Let me come home and see what's going on in the world. And I realized too recently, as you get older and you start going through storylines and experiences and you want to protect your peace, it comes down to, I just want to come home and be peace. I just want to be at peace when I walk in the door. Right? I started doing something a little different. I come home now and you light candles so that the room smells a certain way, the way you like it to smell all over the house. That's what I do. I play with my dog because he's excited to see me. I take a bath because I love the way it feels. Yeah, bubble bath. I'm a grown man taking a bubble bath like I'm in my teens, right? Or a little kid. But I love it because I'm at peace. I'm comfortable. I'm escaping. It's my routine. I walk in, I light the candles, I feed my dog, I play with my dog, I get in the bath, I read a book, I get in the bed, I'm relaxed.
Now, anything that happens in between that time that interrupts my routine might happen. A phone call from a coworker, right? Family's trying to get in touch with me. Something crazy's going on. I'm getting home later than usual because of something with my day job. I get it. But all that does is it shifts. I still got my routine. I still got my at peace, right? Because I'm taking it. And I walk in, it's the same thing. And that's what I encourage all of you to do. Find your routine that works for you. What are your healthy habits? What are those things that you do when you get home that it helps you be at peace? Habits. Set my clock for a certain day. I write down gratitude, at least three things I'm grateful for every night. What are these things that I do just because it sounds good? No, because I realize that I'm in a different mindset the next day. What are you doing? People wondering, how is he staying positive? How can he be positive? How is he smiling? Even in the worst of times, the worst of days, is because I'm controlling my mindset. You can too. Police the negativity surrounding you. Michael Jai White said something amazing the other day, and I heard him. He was talking to Vlad TV. My man said, I know there's so much negativity out there, so I'm not going to go searching for it. So if you're one of those people that jumps online as soon as you jump up in the morning and checks out Facebook or checks out these other sites to see the news, see the drama in the world, guess what you're doing? You're inviting that negativity to start your day off, right? I met a lady the other day that says she doesn't drink coffee. She gets up and goes running to wake herself up. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I really did. I say, wow, that's how I need some caffeine in my life. But you have a routine that wakes you up. You know your body and you know yourself well enough to know that if you get up and you run in the morning, that your day is going to be better, more fulfilled. You're going to feel better about your day, right? She polices her morning. She knows what she wants to do. But some people, they can just throw themselves into the day, man. Now, the negativity can also be holding you back. How can you look at things in a positive way if you're surrounded by everybody else's negative perspective? There's so many negative memes, jokes, but listen to me. Even if it seems like it's a funny meme, it's shrouded in negativity 90% of the time. It's what comedians do. They're able to turn negative situations into something funny. But when you have that subconscious thought in your head, it's already a negative mindset. You're putting something in there negative. Another thing to do is, I mentioned this, be unapologetically you. Stop apologizing for taking your time back. Hey, I want to hang out. Hey, I would, but guess what, man? I got A, B, and C to do. Hey, that's my time. What? Oh, man, you can't just take 30 minutes to hang out with your boy. You don't want to have some drinks. You don't want to do that. No, check this out. Stop making people make your day. You control your time, your energy, and what you put it into. If you feel something deserves that time and energy, you choose. Not your friends, not your family, not your buddy, not your coworker. You choose. When it's your time, off the clock, when it's your time, you choose what to do with it. So another thing that's important to do is navigate your emotions. That's why being alone with yourself is a good thing. You understand what you're feeling. I mentioned this a while ago. It's one of those emotional intelligence things, right? Is if you can put a name to it, then you can attack it. If you have a target you can see, you can go get it. So I know that I'm anxious. I know that I'm excited. I know that I'm angry. I know that I'm sad. When you put a name to it, you can handle it. But if you don't take the time to put a name to it, you don't take the time to identify it, to name it, to label it, then you'll never be able to champion it. So that's you. What are you doing with your time? What are you doing with your mind? You only get one life. You only get one opportunity at all of this. You want to go through the rest of these years not knowing who you are? Letting everybody else kind of mold you? Or do you want to mold yourself? You ever have, remember Play-Doh? Perfect example. Remember Play-Doh as a kid, right? All the different color Play-Dohs, you can make whatever you want. Would you rather? I have a friend that we do, who you got? You got the kid who's making his own Play-Doh character or figure, and he's doing his own, even a house, whatever he's building, he's creating his own, and he's feeling the accomplishment, right? The pride in creating his own project, doing himself, his. Or you want somebody to make it for you. Hey, hold on. I want that wall to be green. I want that leg to be this long. Do you want that, or do you want the pride in knowing that you created it? You hear me now, ain't you? Just like Play-Doh, mold your life, mold your mind the way that you want, not the way that somebody else or what somebody else wants for you. Take your life back. Self-love. You know what you need to do. A lot of us do. We know what we need to do to take that next step. We just don't do it. Be the best version of you. Visualize what that is. Have you ever asked someone, hey man, tell me what the best version of you is? Not what you want to be when you grow up. Visualize, and I want you to come back tomorrow and tell me who the best version of John is, right? Give them that task. See what they come back. When somebody can see it, when somebody can see their ideal self, and that's everything, financial, physical, mental, their ideal self, then it becomes a matter of how do I get there? It's not a question of what it is anymore. It's how do I get to that point? So if you have an ideal self, you can start telling yourself to shut up when it's pulling you away from that ideal self. When your mind is telling you that you'll never get that, you can't do that, that's too much for you, you're not strong enough, you're not smart enough. Tell your mind to shut up. And you start putting the information in your head that's opposing those thoughts. You start telling yourself, there's nothing I can't do. You start telling yourself, I've survived my worst days and I'm going to make it through whatever's coming in front of me. And if I see something I want, I'm going to go get it. Even if somebody tells me I can't have it. If I want it, I'm going to get it. I'm going to find a way. There's people that find ways to do things that are seemingly impossible. And at the end of the day, that person is the one that makes it happen. So why would you allow all these opportunities, all these situations to go because you didn't believe in yourself and you didn't take the time to tell your mind to shut up, counter your negative thoughts? Your perspective is key. Find the good. Find it. There's so much negativity going on every day. Are you looking for the good things, the positive and the negatives, right? The sun in the rain, the moon in the evening. Are you trying to find those things that are making your day or your mindset better? If you're not, today's the day to start, and I'm here to help you. We're going to walk through it. I'll talk to you right after this break. What's going on, everybody? 78.6 FM Yoma time. This is Positive Vibes with Winsome. We are talking about self-care, self-love 2.0. I'm giving you guys tips, ideas, thought processes on how to make healthier choices, making positive change, taking care of yourself, and being in love with who you are. That's all. That's all we're talking about today, man. It's nothing crazy, nothing fancy, no sci-fi, no nothing. I'm keeping it all about how to make yourself better. That's what Positive Vibes is supposed to be about. It's good to be back. Took a week off so I can get my mind refreshed and come back and really talk to you, man, like from my heart. Nothing scripted. As you guys know, I just write down notes and just go off of a word or two just to jog my memory about what I wanted to tell you. One thing I did talk about earlier, man, is navigating your emotions, understanding yourself, mindset. We just left off on that before the break. Seeing the best version of you, telling your mind to shut up, finding the good is where we left off. People will bring negativity to you all day. What I tell the folks that work for me, man, hey, don't present to me a problem. Give me a solution. More than one is even better. But when you're going to identify a problem, when you walk to my office, you walk into my office with a solution so that we can figure it out and figure it out together. So what happens with that is you're walking me through what you've already in your mind started stepping at, right? First steps. You already get walking towards a final answer before you come see me. When you come see me, we're going to walk through it together. And I'm going to say, hey, did you think about this? Did you think about that? And that's the same thing that you can do with yourself. You find problems, present solutions. It's all about mindset, man. Finding the good in situations. And I'll tell you an example, man. So arguments, right? Breakups. Hey, it was the worst situation. I hated the fact that she left. But yeah, but what about the fact that now you get to see who you are? What did you learn from it? What was the lesson you took away? There's always something that you can take away, something positive. Even though the situation, the feelings at the time might be horrible, there's always a positive takeaway if you really search for it. Like Michael Jai White said, if you look for the negative, you're going to find it. But guess what? I got a secret for you. If you look for the positive, you'll find it too. Another thing you can do is get that mental comfort food, man. And mental comfort food, what makes you happy? What keeps your mind at peace, at ease? I gave you guys a little cheat sheet for me earlier. I said I like the candles. Like I'm a scentsy guy. I just realized that I like scents. So I like to walk into, I forget the name of the midnight mist or whatever the smell is in my house. I like to light candles as soon as I walk in. It puts my mind somewhere peaceful, right? I like one in the restroom so I can take a bath to that scent and just, it's a smooth vibe for me when I get home. What is it for you? What does that for you? Some people like to escape into they like to binge watch a show, read a book, jump into somebody else's story, get some positive affirmation from a book. I mean, some people do digital diaries as soon as they get home, telling a story. They feel like they're storytelling. They're kind of an escapism. Some people like to jump into the gym. They create a way to escape in the gym. That's their adventure. That's their journey, right? And the coolest thing is the folks that jump in the gym and they have an adventure. They have a journal where they log in their progress, success, the changes, the positive movements. The one thing you got to do is if you're going to do these things, reward yourself. And I think the one thing that people fail to do is when they hit a setback, a wall, a hurdle, a barrier, they fail to keep going. The first time they see a wall, a barrier, a hurdle, for example, I'm going to come home, I'm going to feed my dog, I'm going to play with my dog. Right after I had lit the candles in the house, I'm going to take a bath. That's my routine. When I get home, the dog made a mess. He broke something. Oh, guess what? The one of the candles isn't lighting. The wick's all melted. I mean, whatever the situation, it doesn't mean I can't still stick to my plan, right? At the end of the day, stick to your plan. You might have to change your path, but don't change the finish line. Still stick to it and fight for it. Fight for your peace. The one thing that happens, another thing that happens with us is we get distracted. We lose focus. That's why you got to write it down and remind yourself. That's why discipline is important. So when we talk about things and you giving tips and examples and ideas, the one thing is discipline. You have to want it. Some people are in school trying to get that degree. Some people are going to the gym trying to maintain physical focus. Whatever the situation is, you have to maintain discipline. Mental discipline, mental toughness to stick it through no matter what happens. In the gym, you're not losing weight as fast as you thought. That don't mean quit. That means keep working. You're not seeing the gains, right? Don't quit. Keep working. So what's going to happen is you're going to be surprised that when it does happen, now you got a timeline and an idea of how your body reacts differently than maybe your best friend who went in there and had massive gains in 2 weeks and it took you 2 months. You're different. You're unique. What I tell you before, you're one of one. Stop comparing yourself. You like that segue? That's another one that's on here, man. Stop comparing yourself to others. If you truly want peace, then you have to truly accept the fact that you are unique. You are different. You are special. You are a creation. And if you're going to really, truly entertain anything, entertain your own self-project. Making yourself the best version of you. Not about what your skin looks like. It's not about what your face looks like. Not about what your body looks like. It's who you are. Not just what you are, who you are. There's people out there, man, all day. I know actors who have surpassed or overcome some of the worst situations in life, and they're still successful. I'm going to name some next week. I got one for Spirit. That's a motivational story I want to talk to you about. Examples of positive change, right? Be kind. Follow your passions. What does that mean, son? What do you mean, Winston? Follow your passions. What does that mean? Follow what you love to do. Chase it. Do you like to play instruments? When's the last time you did it? Do you like to swim? When's the last time you went out there and did it? You like to scuba dive? When's the last time you did it? Do you like to jump on the radio and talk to people about positive changes? When's the last time you did it? For me, it's today. Listen to me. When you chase your passion, it doesn't matter what your occupation is. If you're chasing your passion, there's people that have side hustles, right? They do it at night, and they do it for free, and they do it because they love it, and it's something they like to do. Chase your passion. Be kind. When you're kind to others, you're creating a kind environment for yourself. There's a story I want to tell you guys today, but I'll wait. That over the last week, I had something happen amazing, and it wasn't anything about me doing something for me. It was about taking the time to do something for someone else. And the reward at the end of the day wasn't anything that benefited me. It was seeing the smile of someone else's face and family, their smile, the appreciation, feeling that you accomplished something for someone, and at the end of the day, the story is a good ending, a happy ending. Think about that. Pay attention to what's going on around you. Eliminate the negative things in your life. Negative people, negative places, and negative things, even habits. If you know better, do better, right? Maya Angelou. There's no excuse. If you know better, do better. Put challenges into perspective. What I said earlier, present problems to solutions. If you know you want something, there's something in your way. How do you navigate around it? Mentally do it first. We were talking about positive habits, and one of the things we talked about, books, digital diaries, running, the gym, your eating habits, things like playing chess, instruments, knitting, these things that reduce stress and create positive creativity. You see, you're getting away from where the rest of the world is with social media and doing all these things and talking about the news and politics and religious issues. No, we're talking about specifically doing something for you that is building your mental muscle. Imagine if you're chasing your passion, chasing your dreams, doing things that you love to do nonstop. How do you feel at the end of the day when you lay your head down in that pillow? You don't feel like you're a failure. You don't feel like you missed anything. You feel accomplished. You're exhausted, but you know what? You feel that you did what you wanted to do. You met your life goal for that day. Stop giving your energy, your time, your mind to negativity, people, places, or things that are not benefiting you or elevating you. And if it's not benefiting or elevating you, and it has no reason to be involved in your life, the only other thing is holding you back or keeping you stagnant. And you should be looking for growth every day. Every opportunity to be better than yesterday is what you're looking for. So put challenges into perspective. Do things with intention. That word, purpose, intention, fulfillment. No, do things with intention, purposeful. Have a meaning behind your actions. They can't be empty. You can't have empty actions, empty movements. Have a meaning behind them. Think about it. Everything you do has to have a reason. I know somebody who likes to think in their mind that they're calculated, all their moves are strategic. But when you really look at the person, it's really empty, and everything they do, they're just lucky in a lot of ways because they've just picked a spot and hope for the best. But for you, if you're listening to this, I want you to be intentional about everything you do, everything you say. Don't waste your breath if it's not worth it. Don't waste your energy if it's not deserved. Be intentional with everything you do. When you wake up in the morning, from the time you put those feet on the ground, have a reason to get up. What is your why? The only way you're going to know any of these things that we're talking about today is if you know yourself. Stop mixing up the words being alone with loneliness. You have to take time for you to take care of you. We talked about self-care. It's going to be the tone all month, different subjects, different topics. You can't give anybody anything if you have nothing in you. If you're on E, you cannot recharge somebody else's battery. You can't motivate someone if you can't motivate yourself. All these things I've told you in different ways, but now I'm putting it all together. I had a week to put this together for you. And I'm telling you, actually 2 weeks, right? And I'm telling you right now, you put challenges into perspectives, you work with intention, you pay attention, you ask hard questions to yourself. Why? Why am I doing this? Why did I do that? When you lay down at night and you think about your day, why? What can I do different tomorrow? How can I be better than today? And your goal, if at the end of the day, at the end of every single day, your goal is to wake up better, then you have to go to sleep knowing in your mind that you gave everything you had to that day and that you mentally are preparing yourself for tomorrow. Because what did I say? You want to be better than yesterday. And that's your goal. The whole thing. All of it. You think about self-care, self-love. You only live once. Live unapologetically you, an authentic life. Be who you want to be. Take care of yourself. It starts with your mind. Because if you don't change the way you think, you can't change your life. Someone said earlier, I got to reset the way I think. Oh, yes, you got to reset your mind. It's kind of like the Xbox, kind of like a computer. You got to start it over if you're going to start new. You can't go in with all the old trash. You ever try to work on a program and you got all kind of other programs up? You haven't restarted your computer and it's just moving slow, sluggish. It's not productive. I'm just going to pause there. Think about that for a minute. If you want to start over, you got to reset your mind. You got to have an empty slate. You got to let all the trash go. And remember what I said, you have every right to change your identity. Nobody can tell you different. I dare somebody to tell you you can't. With the exception of your name and legal stuff. I'm talking about who you were today. You don't have to be that person tomorrow. You can be whoever and whatever you want to be. You just got to put the work in, have a plan, and go get it. Don't let anybody tell you, stop you, or make you think differently. There's a science to mental strength, man. There's a science to it. But the key is taking control of your life. You are loved, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. See you next week.